Good morning. That there is the cue for me to bring in our expert. I would call her that, but she is a senior lecturer at Kenyatta University in the Department of Literature, Linguistics, and of course, foreign languages. Her name is Dr. Phyllis Mwangi. As I said, she's a senior lecturer. But today I'm here to, of course, host her in the capacity of a lead researcher on a particular research that is on transitioning from academia to industry, job application letters, and the CV as the weak link. Before we even discuss that, I know you guys are already asking. I have been asking the same questions. Anki, thank you for this particular show. Trust me, as a youth, I am so glad we have this discussion this morning. Victoria, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
And
it's my pleasure to be here.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you created time to be here. A lot of people are curious about the research that you guys were handling, and of course the journey. But before that, just introduce yourself once more, because for you scholars, there could be certain things I could leave out when I'm introducing you. Yes, so please introduce yourself again.
Okay, thank you. As you correctly said, I'm Dr. Phyllis Mwangi from the Department of Literature, Linguistics, and Foreign Languages, quite a long name, right here in Kenyatta University. I'm here in the capacity of a lead researcher. We were a group of 6. I'll probably mention their names as we go along. I'm also a textbook author. I've written close to 40 textbooks at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. I've also interacted with secondary school teachers of English. I've facilitated many workshops across this country. So I would say I have some experience in education matters.
You know, that is so modest of you to say, saying you have some little experience. I mean, from what we hear, the viewer and I are thinking that is not just some experience, that's a lot of experience. Now, the youth watching this morning is curious to know, and of course also the entire world watching this morning is curious to know now, what was this research, when was this research started? When was the grant given to you? What was the application like? What was that journey before we get into the research? Just share with us the beginning.
Okay, thank you. We applied for this grant in late 2016, and we were confirmed as some of the winners in 2017. There was a process of getting approvals that took a bit of time. So it wasn't until 2018 that we began collecting data, and that went on until 2019. In 2020, during the COVID closure, we analyzed data.
Okay.
And we are now done. We are ready to disseminate findings.
We know, talking of the grants, there's people who are asking, which grant is this? This is the VC grant.
Yes, this is Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor's Research Grant.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. So, beginning the research, you know, there must have been an hypothesis. There must have been a gap you people figured could be lingering somewhere. What was this?
Yes, we read in the media that people or job applicants write ineffective CVs and job application letters. Ineffective. That they don't do what they are meant to do, and that is to sell the candidate. These are marketing tools that are supposed to convince the prospective employer that you are the best candidate above everyone else. And your first port of call or the first point of contact with that prospective employer is that job application letter, is that CV. And we realized that the media had pointed out that there are gaps there. These vital documents are not doing what they are meant to do. We also read from literature, their previous studies here and elsewhere, but probably not as comprehensive as ours has been. And more importantly, some of us have had the opportunity, and some still do. Remember I said we are a big team, to sit in hiring panels.
Okay.
And we have interacted with these two documents and realized that indeed they are wanting. There is a problem somewhere. So we thought of coming up with this topic. We are calling it Transitioning from Academia to Industry. So I am here on this side representing learning institution. That's what we are calling academia. You are over there representing industry, that is the job market. To move from here to where you are, we need a bridge.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's why we are calling transitioning. And we thought that one of the planks in this bridge is the job application letter and the attendant attachment, the CV.
Nice.
So we set out to find out, is there a problem?
I like that you have said you set out to find out if there's a problem. Now, when you set out to collect data, we do know there are participants, right?
Yes.
Is it respondents?
Yes.
And I know that the person looking for the job, most importantly today, I will not say the elderly or not, but majority are the youth, especially the graduates.
True.
And I'm asking, who then were the participants through this when you set out now to begin the research?
Yes, thank you. Yes, our starting point, remember I've said we had a hunch that indeed there is a problem. So we wanted to confirm from industry players, have you seen what we think we have seen? So we asked, we interviewed industry players, managers who hire, particularly HRMs, career officers, and so on. Then we went to learning institutions.
Okay.
Here we engaged final year students because they are the ones that are next stepping into the job market. And we asked them what they consider to be the importance of these two documents, whether they felt well prepared to write them. We also interviewed secondary school teachers because that's where these two topics are first handled. And remember, there are people who will not go to tertiary colleges after Form 4. They are going into the job market. We interviewed lecturers at college level, TTCs, TVETs, and universities.
All right.
Yes.
That sounds like a good group of correspondents.
Yes.
And now,
if I may add, for students, we administered questionnaires. These are the groups interviews, but for students, questionnaires.
So there's no, is there by any chance that you actually went out to the unemployed?
Yes, in the sense that some of the finalists would be going into the job market. They hadn't yet. So in a sense, some had a semester to go. So they would be job seekers shortly. Yes.
Yeah, somebody would ask, just like I am going to ask, why did the students get the questionnaires and not the interviews?
Because
is it the large numbers?
Yes, the large numbers. Questionnaires are much easier to administer, and you can do so in large numbers. Yes, we had hundreds of those.
Okay.
But in an interview, you can only do so many. Yes.
The reason why I'm asking this is we want to really talk about the findings, and I want the viewer back at home to understand that you did put your best out there and you were able to get the representation that was required for these findings that we want to hear this particular morning. So after that, and getting to understand where the gap was and who you interacted with.
Yes.
Which are these findings, and please don't rush it, that you people, were able to come up with?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Allow me to add also that we were interested in the teaching itself. So we went into classrooms and observed how the teaching is. We interviewed KICD officers, because our starting point was the curriculum. Is that where the problem starts? Is it are these two topics catered for there? We also dealt with material developers.
Okay.
Yes, those who develop the textbooks that will be used to teach these topics. Yes, we looked at documents such as the textbooks themselves, course outlines, and so on.
All right.
Yes, now we come to the findings.
Very important.
Yes, we did find the students and the other respondents as well were in agreement that communication skills are very important in the workplace, and particularly these two documents, that's the job application letter and the CVs,
Yes.
that at the shortlisting stage, they're vital documents.
All right.
They could make or break your chances, because if your documents are shunted aside at that point, then it makes you don't get it means you don't make it to the interview stage, and obviously you don't get the job. Yes, so that was one thing that came out very clearly.
All right.
We also, by the way, we collected sample job application letters, actual job application letters, and our analysis revealed that these documents have shortcomings.
All right.
They tend to be generic, similar, like following a format or a template that was taught somewhere. So
Wow.
regardless of the job that is being applied for, regardless of the institution that advertised, that you are sending one CV, a generic CV, you do not customize it. You do not tailor it to the dictates of that job. That was very common across the CVs and the job application letters that we sampled and analyzed. And yet the industry told us that these documents are tailored to a specific organization, to a particular job. So you change it every time you are applying to a different organization.
The format, however, does this also affect
The format is generally the same, but the content
the content?
varies.
Okay.
Yes, if I had the time, I would talk about the structure, especially of a job application letter,
All right.
because they are what we call moves, and there are 6 of them.
I think we
Very
need you back
important.
for that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, so that was the finding, that people are writing similar documents for all manner of applications. Another one was that there is critical information that was missing, particularly regarding employability skills, that applicants tended to stop at the hard skills, your academic qualifications, your professional qualifications, but they didn't tell us what extra you bring on the table. Yes, we call it offering incentives. You have offered yourself. That's the hard skills. What about telling the employer what it is that you're bringing on the table that the next person doesn't have? Here we are talking about leadership skills, problem solving, the 21st century skills, that you are a good communicator. Yeah, so that was missing in a lot of the documents that we looked at.
Yes.
Our findings also revealed that the students felt ill-prepared.
Ill-prepared.
Yes, ill-prepared in 2 respects.
Okay.
One, they said that first of all, the majority said they were, especially at tertiary level, that they were not taught. The majority.
They were not taught.
Yes.
Okay.
That the only preparation they've had was at secondary school level.
Okay.
And even those who said they were taught said that the feedback they got was not helpful. Some said they didn't get feedback at all.
After sending their document.
Yes. So the lecturer or the teacher will make them write a CV or a job application letter, but no feedback will be forthcoming. They also said that they were not exposed to varied samples. Yes, and that's where the issue of a common template now arises.
There we go.
Yes. Yet another finding was that, especially at secondary school level,
Yes.
they tend to see job application letters and CVs as examination topics. So that if it's not likely to be tested this year, because it was there last year or the year before, then it's given casual treatment. So they fail to see it as a lifelong functional skill.
Interesting way to look at it.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of findings on this, and of course there will be a dissemination workshop. We'll tell you when, so you can get more of these findings. I also just want to figure out, I know after the findings, you people have recommendations.
True.
Things you suggest could be done to bridge these gaps. You could just give us 2 or 3, because I know there'll be more when you give us the link to the dissemination workshop.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, we are recommending a strong partnership between academia and industry. Yes, so that the industry can give academia feedback on what it is that they want to see and that they are not seeing. Yes. We would want academia to invite industry to talk to the students and tell them these things. We would also want universities and tertiary institutions to create writing centers where these skills can be nurtured, because there was a complaint that there wasn't enough time on the timetable. But if we have writing centers, then the students can get more individualized attention. We would want online courses to be mounted. Yes, okay. And we would want these two to be, the job application letters and the CVs to be taught in close proximity. Like, for example, right now, one is in Form 3, the other one is in Form 4.
Wow.
So they've forgotten what they learned
Yes,
previously. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's really, really important, what you have recommended. And if you want to know more about this research and how it went, I'm sitting here with the lead researcher on this particular matter, that is Dr. Phyllis Mwangi. There is a dissemination workshop on the Friday 28th. You want to talk about that? And if there'll be a link out there for us as well. I'm sure the youth want to be there.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, as I said, we've come to the end of our research and we are disseminating our findings on Friday 28th, starting from 9 o'clock. We have an in-person workshop at the KUCC right here in Kenyatta University, but that is limited to only a few invitees, you know, COVID protocol. Yes, but we can accommodate a lot more online, so we have a link that will be circulating.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So then you all watching this morning can join that link, through that link, and actually be there for the dissemination workshop of this particular research on the transitioning from academia to the industry. Very, very important. Dr. Phyllis, we're so glad you came through to talk to us. Unless there's a word you want to give out to us, the youth, because you're a lecturer, I know that way also you're a mother. So maybe.
Yes. Very briefly, first of all, to thank the Office of the Vice Chancellor for this initiative. This research wouldn't have been possible were it not for his grant. And to potential job applicants out there, remember that these 2 documents are critical. They are telling the employer at a glance who you are. So put your best foot forward and make sure that they sell you as the best candidate possible.
I like that you said that, because most people say, oh no, hire me for my skills. You should see what I do first before you read the CV. CV can be doctored, whatever it is. So now that you have listened to Daktari today, that is your first selling point. It is the link. Daktari, I want you to tell Mwananchi, not all of us will get this link. Research as usual. People hope that it's probably published. How do we get this? We'll get some findings on social media for the rest of us?
Yes, we're... first of all, We will be appearing in conferences. Obviously, those are academic. Again, not everyone might reach that. We are also publishing in several publications.
Okay.
Yes, and we are appearing in the media. Yes, even in the graduation pamphlet.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm glad that she appeared in this media. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for hosting me.
I am so glad that you have this conversation with us, and please continue to have this conversation even in the next interviews when you come.
Thank you.
That's it for this particular, lounge, and I'm glad that she's put us in that goal. All right. That was Dr. Phyllis Mwangi, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Literature, Linguistics, and Foreign Languages. Very calm and collected. But after her, lined up for you, is an amazing gentleman doing amazing things. For the women, I will emphasize on that. If my computer broke, I will call my boyfriend or my husband or Bonnie or somebody to come check it out. If my UFA doesn't work properly, you look for the neighbor, the man living next door, because you cannot handle the tech in it. But Frankie's foundation is doing something different for women and people living with disability to just try and handle the little things that we all should be able to handle. Dr. How do you feel about that kind of foundation? That you don't have to call your neighbor to come and fix your laptop?
Phenomenal. Simple.
So Frankie is here. Frank is going to talk to us about it. And I'm glad that I asked you to smile about it. I think those are our final words.
Yes, people. These documents are important. Just do your best to make sure that they sell you. That cannot be said enough times.
So even with the skills that Frankie's Foundation is giving you, get your CV right.
Yes.
All right.
Because you have to package yourself in a market-friendly way, in a way that tells everyone, here I am, and I am the best above everyone else.
There we go. So here I am, Anki Doris Umbat. I am the best above everyone else.
Yes.
Ending this particular interview in that manner, we take a short break. I'll be back with Frankie's Foundation.